Good morning. As you can see, things haven't gone to plan. Unfortunately, it's delayed, and I think it's probably better off if we call it quits there because of the ski cross and because it's such a track. I think all the other ski crosses have cancelled, and it is. I can literally watch in the window now, and there's just rain going like this. So yeah, it is delayed, if not cancelled. And also the track, to go on the track, it costs quite a lot, so there's no point in us going up having a half day on the track. We could go free ski, but again, it's just like cutting your losses and saving your energy a little bit. So we're trying to make a plan about what happens. I know you guys don't like these videos, I'm really sorry. I don't like these days either. It's sort of like, so we've got all those new skis that we picked up from the factory. Have we shown you them? Anyway, we can show you the new skis that we've got. We've only got slaloms, because I am still a slalom skier, believe it or not. The plan is, we've got to probably set up the skis today. Else is leaving. Where is Elsa? She's coming. Else is leaving. You guys are leaving. So it's the last day. So yeah, again, so it's not ideal, but it is what it is. We've got to the ski room. It is still pretty heavy snowing outside. But we've got a new set of skis. We went to the factory just before you guys arrived. On the way out in Austria, and this is the new Fischer slalom ski with noise control, which apparently is the new technology they're using. I don't know what it is or what it does, or if it does anything. It might be marketing, I shouldn't be saying that. Anyway, we'll see when we ski on them. So this is a standard men's slalom ski. It is 165 centimeters and a meet radius of 12, I think. I should know this, shouldn't I? 12, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, all Fizz race skis are that. I go for the stiffer skis because I am heavy for a slalom skier. So yeah, the stiffer skis means, so stiffer is how difficult it is to bend like this. So a soft ski would bend more and easier, but then in theory you get less out of it as well. So we have the model number, which is a 2393. That's a pretty basic number for the Fischer factory skis. It's sort of, every company has their own sort of way of doing it. But that's the way Fischer do it. That refers to the shape of the ski. So if you're a big deal and in the World Cup you can get slightly different shapes, and obviously that'll ski different, but for the people that are like at my level, we just get access to this shape, which is the standard shape, which the guys at the World Cup still do use, but they also get to try other shapes. First and foremost, we've got to remove the sidewall, which is, so you imagine that there's the edge here, and then the sidewall is here when you buy them, and you're going to remove that so you can get access to the edge of your files or your snow glide or however you prep your skis or sharpen your skis. And you also want to make it smooth, so it's not like it's a smooth surface, so when it slides in the snow, it's not slowing you down. That's pretty much it. It's pretty easy stuff. It just takes a while. It's a bit of a faff. It's probably the worst job for the setting up the skis. And it's a bit weird because you think you would get a pair of skis and they'd be ready to go, but they're not. They're really, really not, especially for race skis. This is my sidewaller. He's actually a very cheap one. Probably the cheapest one you can get. I think it does actually the best job. The fancy ones seem to sort of overcomplicate it, for me at least. So you have these two screws here, which determine the height on the edge. If you think about it, they just literally just come out into the bottom. And this blade here, you can either have it as a circular or as like a bit more sharp. I prefer the more circular side, so it brings in this way and out. So you can control exactly where it is on the sidewall. So you have to, basically move it out as it's coming in. It gets close to the edge, and then that trims off different areas of the thing. So you want to make it nice and smooth. So if you just had one, it would just make that circular shape in one area. It wouldn't really work. So you just want to control this blade from all the different screws slowly as you get more and more close to the edge. Because the key to sidewalling and getting smooth sidewalls is taking your time, like in Surf's Up, one of my favourite movies.
First of all, with the grain. With the grain. You see what I'm doing here? You let the tool do the work, you see?
It'll be smooth and just take a little bit off at a time. If you take it all, it starts to go, and you get waves in your cycles. That's not good. we've got most of the sidewall off with this, most of the volume off, and now we're going to go in with a bit of sandpaper and just make it smoother. This can be a long job. Today I've actually forgot my pen, so I'm not going to sand it so much that we get rid of the number, because we need to write the number on the ski. But we're just going to do it a little bit and get most of the roughness off. So what I do, people wrap it around a pen, but I just wrap it, like roll it up into a little roll, and then I just run it down. And you're just trying to make any of you can't be really smooth with this, so you just try to get most of the volume, the sort of like the little ridges from this off with a little bit of sandpaper. That is the sidewall all smooth and nice. You can do that forever really, and you can run acetone over it as well if you want to make it really smooth, but that's sort of all you need to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set the edge. It's actually pretty easy to do, everyone always overthinks it, but it's actually just a couple more passes on the snow glide, or a couple more goes on the file as well. It doesn't take too long, everyone gets quite worried about it, but it's not too big a job. This is the tool that This is the tool that I use. It's called the snow glide. It's what I use to sharpen my skis. So to set the edge, I just run it a couple more times and it seems to do the trick. I'm on 86 degrees. I've been in the past few years. Actually, recently I've been thinking about going back to 87, just because I've been sort of getting too much grip almost sometimes. I think for now we're going to stay on 86. Obviously that's not ideal because you don't be changing edge angles too much, but for now we're going to stay on 86 for this pair, then we might experiment again with the other pairs. So most people don't have a snow glide, and I'm obviously very lucky at the minute. So what you would normally do is you get your normal file guide and your file. If you have a selection of files, what you would do is you get your most coarse one. So the one with they'll take the most edge off, obviously, because you're trying to set the edge. So there's a couple of ways you can see it. So all you are doing is sharpening your edge like you would normally. I'll show you on my old set of skis how you would do it, but it is just sharpening your edges. So there's a couple of ways to tell if you've set the edge correctly. You can see it normally because the light, when your light hits it, when you change the angle, you can only see it. And then what it will do is when you do one pass, it will have a little, so that the edge is like a little, this is the track of the edge. This much of it will then be a different sort of shade because it's hitting the light differently because the angle is slightly different. And as that goes, you want to go until it's all the way to the whole surface area of the edge. That's obviously you've got to be paying attention quite a lot. Another way of doing it is if you get a Sharpie and you draw on your edge, so the whole thing's black, and then as you take off the edge it will turn to silver, and then until it's all silver, and then you set the edge. So it's pretty simple. You are just doing edging, sharpening, as you would any normal set of skis. It just takes a couple more passes. Normally I'd say it's 2 to 3 more times as passes as a normal sharpening of the edges, and that's it. So these are my two options of files. As you can see, sort of not the actual size of it, but the gaps between each sort of hook on the file, if you like, is bigger. So that's going to take off more edge, and this one's more fine. So when you're setting the edge, you want to use this big one and not this little. Well, you could use this little one; it will just take you more time. So you want to use a big one, and it will save you a lot of time doing it. It's just also when you're doing it by hand, you want to make sure that you've got a really strong clamp on it. And you're holding it really, because it's quite easy, even if this is a really strong clamp, and even if it's moving a bit. So just try and make that as flat on the file guide as you can. But it's pretty easy. It's not intimidating if you just sort of. If it was my first time, I would definitely use a Sharpie, and you can just see. So you have your sidewalls out of the way, like you've prepped them, and then when it's time to set the edge, you just literally, as you would any other normal filing, you just run it down. You can see the filings are coming off, and yeah, you just see the edge, but obviously at the minute they're already set, so it's not going to show you anything, and I've not got a Sharpie with me, so I can't show you that. So bindings are normally last a few seasons, but these have been seen their fair share. This is not meant to happen. I had a guy on my Basie, when I did my Basie in the summer, he said, "Oh, I like how your boots jingle." It was actually my broken binding. I was like, yeah. So yeah, we've got new ones, so we're gonna have to get these off anyway, because there's little plates which affect your height, which I need to get off because I've only got a couple of sets of them. I'm going to put them in the same place as I had last year, but I've been speaking. I spoke to Billy Major, who used to be on, he's a World Cup skier who used to be on Fisher from Britain, and he said he actually found it if I move my foot forward. But for this pair, we're going to have it in the same position that I'm used to, and then on another pair we will do experimenting. Here are the new fancy, they're black now, bindings. And so these are the plates that I've pulled off my old skis. They're the heights that I like, and I can't actually remember, 3mm and 5mm, but they're different numbers. Anyway, they're the plates that I need. For the races, we put plates underneath the binding, and that changes your foot position, sort of like this, on the ski. We were playing around with that quite a lot last year, if you remember, if you were watching. Well, I wasn't watching, if you weren't watching. So yeah, these are the ones, and then we also have to have longer screws, so then they can still reach through the plate with that extra height. Otherwise, if you had the normal screws, you wouldn't be able to get into the ski just to make sure your foot's still on. And we've had lots of moments where people try and put too short of screws on and then they go skiing and the whole binding explodes on the piece. We don't want that. So I'm going to put this one on the same place as last year, the same thing, because we want one ski that is the same, and then we might test from the other skis. So this bit here, you go to your corresponding with your boot length in millimeters. So 30 is 300 mils, 31 is 310. So you just line it up, and then this back bit can sometimes be a bit tricky. So I'm going to just bring it forward. So this now depends on, so the front normally stays pretty steady, and then this, you move this back and forward. It's sometimes a bit fiddly to get it into the right position. This is like, so your heel piece, and this is your forward pressure. So when your boot's in there, you want this all to line up, but right now it can just be a bit sort of greasy as well. So yeah, we're just trying to make it all line up in the holes that we had last year. We're not playing around right now, we're just trying to get it in. So it needs to go forward quite a lot, actually. Alright, so we are putting the black one on now, take 2. I did the whole thing wrong, so I had to do it all again. It always takes a minute to get the right setup, even though I've done it a million times. It just takes a minute. Cool. So that's the binding done. Same setup as last year. Yeah, it takes me a minute to always remember. I always forget what I'm doing. So the last thing to do is to chuck a bit of wax on them, and then they're ready to ski when we do get to them. We're not going to ski on them for a while, but need to have good to go. Ski chiropractor. So you always want to give it a quick brush, even if you've not skied on them yet, before you wax, because you want to basically clean the ski. You don't want any wax in any dirt or sidewalls or filings or anything like that. Waxing, I always have the iron on 120. I don't really go above that, even though a lot of them say go, especially the new waxes, they tell you to go really high, but I don't want to burn my ski, so I stick to low, even though they don't tell you to. People don't hot wax like with the solid wax, they just liquid wax on slaloms, but I like to do it just to get a base layer on, because when the skis are new, it's like there's lots of pores in the bottom of the skis, not just a flat surface. And it absorbs the wax, and it absorbs better on the actual solid wax, not just liquid. It just protects it while it's travelling, because sometimes even the little movements in the car can sort of make them rub, and it's not great for the ski. So. So I just use my thumbnail to get the wax off the edges. Sometimes if there's a tiny bit of moisture even in the air, and you have a wax on over the wire, like over the where they're stored, they get a little bit rusty. So just get the wax off and it just pings off. People use their scrapers as well, but I just use mine. That's on there. So that's how you'd set up a ski for racing. It's now ready to ski on. What I would do is I would make sure I wax a lot when you first start using them, because they're, as I said, there's pores in them and you want to fill up those pores full of wax, and they're more easy to get dry and empty with wax when you first get them. But yeah, that is it. Hope that was entertaining and as informative and as not boring as it can be, ski prep can be. Let me know if you've got any questions or any specifics, and I will try my best to answer them in the comments. Alright team, we're going. It is snowing, winter has arrived. I still feel like it's summer, but clearly the evidence is to the contrary. We're going to go find some caves. These are the first ones. I found these when I was like 14 and I was so mysticised. I didn't know what it was for. I thought it was something quite exciting. It was for World War I. It was a frontier? Was it a frontier? I don't know if I said it yesterday in yesterday's episode. I can't remember the word for it. Anyway, I'm going to go show you around them. They're not very far. I'm definitely dressed wrong. Alice is definitely dressed more appropriately than I am. Can't actually remember where they are. So this road is if you stay at the top, like I've shown you. Oh, coming up. There you go. So this is them going to the hotel. To get out of the way. Out of the way. So that's how you get up if you stay at the top. I wouldn't want to be doing that now in the red van. I'm not sure the red van can make it up there. Now let's climb in to these caves. It's small. There's a door on the other end, but I don't know where. Someone's had a barbecue in here. Too big for this sort of activity. Ow! Ouch! Oh, there we go, a bit brighter in here. Alice just asked me what I'd do with the place if I lived here. I think I put my bed here, nice little view out the window, and then I reckon I'd have bathroom. Bathroom's got to be outside, doesn't it, really? Because you don't want to be, yeah. Maybe kitchen here. So in there I'd have my living room, a bit of open plan area. Actually through the back I'd have a toilet, but I'm not going to go in there because I can't fit in there, so I'll just go through the back of a little stinky area. I'm going to keep a lot of this rock, a bit natural. Maybe we can do a season, maybe we can base ourselves here this season, on a big budget. Stay over your caves. No one else can drive up here because it's shut in the winter, but we'll be up here.
Powder skiing.
Proper hard powder skiing. Good fun having a little explore caves. I do enjoy it. When I first found these I was so excited. I was like, what is this? I had no idea what it was for. And yeah, it's good to have a little explore, get out and about. As we were in the hotel all day, we go a bit crazy. Well,
Airbnb.
Airbnb. Let's buy it. Let's claim it as ours. So we now claim a right. Four Liners claims a right to that cave, and you can now rent it from us. It's an authentic World War I experience, and we're going to charge £120 British pounds
Quite a lot.
per night.
And you have access to powder skiing all year round.
Yeah, ski in, ski out.
And we can't really clean the sheets because there's not
There
a
isn't
washing
any sheets.
machine.
You have to bring your own tent or sleeping bag or however you want to stay warm. It's authentic. Real life. A little recap. Ski cross was good fun. Good fun. Yeah, something new, something sort of changing it up. Sort of, obviously there's an aspect of repetition and like monotony that comes with trying to get really good at something. You have to do it a lot. But it's always fun to change it up a bit, and yeah, it really was good fun. And I'd like to have some more. There was obviously just snowboarders there. I was the only skier, so it'd have been cool to like have some other skiers to sort of like see what they do and sort of compare to. The jumps, good fun. It's just like making that speed at the start is tricky. It's a bit like moving fast, and like it feels like you're like whoa, going over. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go skiing today, as you saw. It's just the way of the thing, and you guys seem to be a bad curse. It's your fault. Thank you for watching. That is us done for Stelvio with you guys for this camp. I'm going to stay here, do some slalom, and then next time you join, we should be, fingers crossed, doing a ski cross race, and then we'll see how good we really are, because it's very hard to tell. And yeah, that is it. Bye bye.